upcoming dividend-paying stocks for the month of May and the end of April. Hi there, and welcome to today's video whereby we are looking at which companies are issuing dividends for these 2 months. Yes, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Gertrude, and in this channel we talk about how we can make our money work for us. Yes, if you like this kind of information, hit that like and subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so that you never miss a video from this channel. As I've said, I'll be sharing which companies are issuing dividends for the end of April and the month of May. And I usually section this video in this way. I'll state the company, the sector, the dividend type. For this video specifically, I will mention the current share price, the dividend yield, dividend per share, the book closure date, that is the date by which you are supposed to own these shares so that you can qualify to get paid, and the payment date, the date that you'll receive your money. And if you own 100,000 shares of each of these stock, how much will you get? Yeah. That's it. And I'll be defining a few new terms towards the end of this video, so stick around to learn these new terms that I think all investors, specifically in stocks, should know about, right? Okay, if that sounds like something you are interested in, grab your notebook. Yes, grab your notebook and maybe a cup of tea or coffee. Let's get started. So the first company that is on this list is Cooperative Bank. Now, Cooperative Bank is in the banking sector. Bank, yes, it is in the banking sector, and Cooperative Bank issued a final dividend of 1.50 shillings per share. Now, the current share price as at the time that I was compiling this list is 16.15 shillings per share, and the dividend yield is around 9.28%. Now, Cooperative Bank has a book closure of 28th April 2025. The payment date will be on June 10th, 2025. If you own 100,000 shares of Cooperative Bank by the book closure date, you should expect 150,000 Kenyan shillings before tax. Yes, dividend stocks are taxed. And for anyone who's new to this investing world, well, what a dividend stock is, I should have started with this, but oh well. A dividend stock is simply a company that shares part of its profits with its shareholders, that is the people who own the company. Leave your questions in the comment section below. If you have any, leave them in the comment section below. The second company on our list today is Absa Bank, which is in the banking sector. Now, Absa issued a final dividend of 1.55 shillings per share. Now, the current share price is 18 shillings per share, giving us a dividend yield of 8.61%. Now, the book closure date for Absa will be on April 30th, 2025. April 30th. The payment date will be in May 22nd, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Absa by the book closure date, you will be going home with 155,000 Kenyan shillings before withholding tax of 5%. The third company on this list is EABL. Now, EABL is in the manufacturing sector. Now, EABL, that is East African Breweries PLC, issued an interim dividend of 2.50 shillings per share. The current share price is 186 shillings per share, giving us a dividend yield of around 1.34%. Now, the book closure date was on 21st Feb 2025, and the payment date will be on 30th April 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of EABL, if you owned by the book closure date, you will be going home with 250,000 Kenyan shillings before taxes. Now, the next company on our list today is KCB. Now, KCB is in the banking sector. KCB issued a final dividend of 1.50 shillings per share. Their current share price is 42 shillings. Now, the book closure date was on 3rd April 2025, and the payment date will be in May 23rd. Yes, if you own 100,000 shares of KCB, you will be going home with 150,000 Kenyan shillings, and the current share price of KCB is 42 shillings per share. The next company on this list is Standard Chartered Bank, which is obviously in the banking sector. Now, Standard Chartered Bank issued a final dividend of 37 shillings per share. Yes, the dividend is 37 shillings per share. The current share price of Standard Chartered Bank is 300 shillings per share. That is at the time that I was compiling this list, giving us a dividend yield of 12.33%. Now, the book closure date for Standard Chartered Bank will be on 30th April 2025, and the payment date, that is the day that you should expect to get your money, will be on 28th May 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Standard Chartered Bank by the book closure date, you will be going home with 370,000 Kenyan shillings before tax. Yes, before tax. Now, the next company on our list is none other than Jubilee Holdings. Now, Jubilee is in the insurance sector. Jubilee issued a final dividend of 11.50 shillings per share. Yes, 11.50 shillings per share, and the current share price is 211.25, giving us a dividend yield of around 5.44%. Now, the book closure date for Jubilee will be on May 28, 2025. The payment date will be in July 25, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Jubilee by the book closure date, you can expect 1.15 million in dividends before tax. Yes, before tax. Yeah, it's as easy as that. You invest your money works for you, and you expect a payment by the payment date of these dividend stocks. Let me know in the comment section below, do you own any Kenyan dividend stocks? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you feel like sharing more, you can state which dividend stocks these are so that we can share and grow together. Comment down below, which dividend stocks in the Kenyan stock market do you own? Let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll be happy to read your comments, right? Okay. Now, the next company on this list is none other than I&M Group, which obviously is in the banking sector. Now, I&M issued a final dividend of 1.70 shillings per share. The current share price of I&M is 31.50 shillings, giving us a dividend yield of around 5.4%. Now, the book closure date for I&M was on April 16th, 2025. The payment date will be in May 22nd, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of I&M by the book closure date, you will expect 170,000 in gross dividends. Yes. The next company on this list is another stock in the banking sector, which is NCBA. NCBA issued a final dividend of 3.25 shillings per share. The current share price for NCBA is 54 shillings, giving us a dividend yield of 6.02%. Now, the book closure date will be on April 30th, 2025, and the payment date will be May 28, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of NCBA by the book closure date, you will be going home with around 325,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, the next company in this list is BAT, which is in the manufacturing sector. Now, BAT issued a final dividend of 45 shillings per share. Yes, 45 shillings per share. The current share price of BAT is 374.75, giving us a dividend yield of 12%. Now, the book closure date for BAT will be in May 23rd, 2025, and the payment date will be in June 25. Yes, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of BAT by the book closure date, you will be going home with around 4.5 million. Yes, and this is not just a random number. There are some investors in Kenya who are pocketing such amounts from passive income. There you have it. Now you know. Yeah. You can make the decision whether to be among the people who earn such or be a participant, a watcher, someone who watches while others are, yeah. But before that, remember, this is not financial advice. I am simply a random person online giving you updates and information. That the choice is yours to make. Yeah. Okay, the next company on this list is none other than the Securities Exchange, that is Nairobi Securities Exchange of the stock itself. Now, the NSE issued a first and final dividend of 0.32 shillings per share, and the current share price is around 7.10 shillings per share, giving us a dividend yield of 4.51%. Now, the book closure date for the NSE stock will be on 21st May 2025, and the payment date will be in July 31st, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of the NSE stock, you will be going home with 32,000 before tax. Yes, before the 5% tax on dividends. Now, the next company on this list is none other than Equity Group. Yes, Equity Group, which is in the banking sector. Now, Equity issued a final dividend of 4.25 per share. 4.25 shillings per share. The current share price is around 45.15 shillings but yes, this is, yeah, it is around 45.15 shillings per share. This is as at the time that I am making this video. However, there has been some news that the company is required to reduce their holdings in DRC. Therefore, we expect the share price to change. Yeah. So the book closure date for equity will be in May 23, 2025, and the payment date will be on June 30th. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of equity by the book closure date, you will be going home with 425,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, the next company on this list is none other than Kakuzi, which is the first company in the agriculture sector to be featured in this video today. So Kakuzi issued a final dividend of 8 shillings per share. Now, the current share price for Kakuzi is around 440 shillings per share. The book closure date will be on May 31st, 2025, which happens to be my birthday. The payment date will be on June 16, 2025. If you own 100,000 shares of Kakuzi, you will be going home with, with 800,000 in passive income alone. Now, the next company on this list is Diamond Trust Bank, short form DTB. Now, DTB is in the banking sector. DTB issued a final dividend of 7 shillings per share. The current share price for DTB is 72 shillings. Yes, 72 shillings, giving us a dividend yield of around 9.72%. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of DTB by the book closure date, you could be going home with around 700,000 Kenyan shillings. And remember, this is passive income. You simply invest in the right company, and once this company issues dividends, you get paid for being a shareholder or part owner of that company. Now, the next company on this list is none other than Kenya Insurance. By the name, you know it is in the insurance sector. Now, Kenya Re issued a final dividend of 0.15%. Now, the book closure date and payment date are subject for approval. That is, the book closure date and payment date have not yet been set. But if you own 100,000 shares of Kenya Re by the book closure date, you will be going home with around 15,000 Kenyan shillings. Say it with me, before tax. Yes, the next company on this list is Liberty Kenya. Now, Liberty Kenya is in the insurance sector as well, and Liberty issued a special dividend of 0.50 shillings per share. The book closure date and payment date are subject to approval. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Liberty Kenya, you will be going home with around 50,000 Kenyan shillings. Yeah, 50,000 Kenyan shillings. Now, I wanted to define what a special dividend is, as we have seen in Liberty Kenya. Now, a special dividend is a rare type of dividend. Why? Because it happens once in a while. It is not something that is you can predict simply. However, note that it is usually bigger than the other ordinary shares, ordinary dividend. It is often larger than the normal dividend, and it occurs in rare occasions. And what occasions are this. This can be either the company has made a lot and it wants to share that amount with shareholders. Yeah, of most often it happens when a company either makes a lot of money or it sells off assets. Yeah. For example, this is what happened last year with Bamburi, whereby it sold some of its assets to Hima, I believe, and the shareholders of Bamburi received a special dividend of, I believe it was 18 shillings per share. So, yeah, that's a new type of dividend that I wanted you to know. Special dividend does not occur often, but when it does, it is usually larger than the normal dividend. Now you know, right? Okay. And I've said it is often when the company wants to share this extra amount that it has made. So Liberty Kenya this year has issued a special dividend of 0.50 shillings per share. And the book close and payment date are yet to be approved. Now, on to the next company, which is BK Group. Yes, Bank of Kigali is listed in the Kenyan stock market, and Bank of Kigali has issued a final dividend to its shareholders of 19.02 Rwandese franc, which converted to Kenyan shillings, it is around 1.75 shillings per share. Did I mention Bank of Kigali is in the banking sector? Yes, and other companies in other countries can also be listed in the Kenyan stock market. So now you know. Yeah, now the book closure date for Bank of Kigali, BK Group, will be on 30th May 2025. The payment date will be on June 25, 2025. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of Bank of Kigali by the book closure date, you can expect to go home with around 175,000 Kenyan shillings, and remember, this is before tax. Yes, the same way you are taxed for investing in for receiving dividends from Kenyan companies. Foreign companies also tax foreigners, so yeah, which is around 10 to 15%, but depending on the company and also which country the company is from. So now you know. Yeah. The next company is CIC. Now CIC chose to pay its investors in two ways. That is through the normal dividends as well as issuing bonus shares. Now, you might be asking, what is a bonus share? And a bonus share is simply getting 3 additional shares for shares that you already own. For example, sorry about that. CIC issued a bonus share of 1:10, meaning for every 10 shares that you own, you will receive 1 extra share. Yeah. In addition to the bonus shares, CIC shareholders will receive a first and final dividend of 0.13 shillings per share. The book closure date was on 22nd April 2025, and the payment date will be on 18th June 2025 for the first and final dividend as well as the bonus shares. Now, if you own 100,000 shares of CIC by the book closure date, you will be receiving 13,000 Kenyan shillings, and in addition, bonus shares for every 10 shares that you own of CIC, you will be receiving an extra one, right? Okay. The next company on this list, before we go there, you can read up on bonus shares. I'll leave more information right here. Yeah. If you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to this channel, like, comment, and hit that bell notification so that each time I upload a video you get notified. Alright? Okay, now on to our last company, which has just come in, and that is BOC. Now BOC is in the manufacturing sector, and BOC has issued a dividend of 6.15 shillings per share. This is an increase because last year the dividend price was 6.05, I believe, yes, and now it is 6.15 shillings per share. The book closure date will be on 31st May, my birthday, once again, and the payment date will be on 25th July 2025. If you own 100,000 shares of BOC, you will be going home with 615,000 Kenyan shillings. That's it for this video. I hope you appreciate the updates, and let me know, do you already own Kenyan dividend stocks? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be happy to read up on which companies you own. Yeah, leave your questions in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified each time I upload a video. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, and here's a clue. In the next one, we'll be talking about special fund. Yes, special funds. I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, watch any of these videos that YouTube thinks you will enjoy. Until the next one, bye-bye now.